if that is what we've got to look forward to this next season under Nuno, then just let him go now. Hello and welcome to Iron Thoughts, a new YouTube channel from a new West Ham content creator, which I'm not sure is needed, but here I am all the same, just to give my thoughts, feelings on everything to do with West Ham. And there is plenty going on at the football club at the moment. Is this a good time to start? Maybe not the best time to start creating content around West Ham, but I've actually found some solace myself in listening to other content creators on YouTube talking about West Ham, facing the same, going through the same stuff, suffering together. So hopefully, even if I can help one person in their suffering, supporting this football club, then it's a good thing. So if you can subscribe to my new channel, I will really appreciate it. Some of you might know me from the West Ham Way. I've done a few videos with Mark on there, done a few of my own on there as well. So if you're coming from there, welcome. Please subscribe, like the video as well. That would be greatly appreciated. Obviously, any new channel can really do with a little push from any audience it gets. So I really do appreciate it if you can hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That'd be great. So I want to talk about West Ham QPR. Obviously yesterday in the FA Cup third round we managed to win. We won a game of football. I couldn't actually believe it. But it was scrappy, wasn't it? It was a scrappy game, not for the purists, but I think the FA Cup is all about getting through. But I want to talk about a few things on my mind, what I thought about the game, and just sort of how we are as a football club and moving forward into next season. So let's talk about the positives first. And there were a few. There weren't many. Let's be frank. First of all, we actually won a game of football. It's been so long since we've won. I think Burnley was the last game we won. So it's almost like the players have actually forgotten how to win a game of football. So that can only be good. Will it breed loads of confidence into the playing staff? I doubt it. I don't think they're going to come off that pitch and be brimming with confidence all of a sudden. I think actually in the game they looked like they were lacking confidence. And yeah, I don't think that's going to massively change things, but a win is a win. They'll probably go into training, whether they have a rest day today, but they go into training the next day with a smile on their face at least. There's at least a few of them, some of Il Tatti. So it is a good thing. It is a good thing. And talking about Tatti, I think him getting off the mark is always good. A striker, we have had some terrible strikers over the last few years at West Ham, and some of them haven't even scored one, a couple of goals in their whole West Ham career. So the fact that he's off the mark in his second game, it can only be a good thing. I thought he took it well. It was a good header. It rose well. You know, you'd expect him to score, but he did do. And I do think he's been okay. I think he's been better of the two signings so far out of him and Pablo. When I saw Pablo on YouTube, I was a little bit like, I knew nothing about him, as probably many of us didn't. And I thought, I think he's just going to be very slow. I just don't think he's going to adapt to the Premier League. Now, I hope I'm wrong. He's obviously young. He's got plenty of time. You know, let's not write him off too quickly. But as soon as I saw Tatti in that first game against Nottingham Forest, I thought, okay, he's got some mobility, and that is something that we've been crying out for in the forward line at West Ham. And I think he will help us. He does work hard, and again, we needed that in that forward line. So him getting off the mark, I think again that is a positive we can take from yesterday's win. Also, Somerville's been getting a lot of stick recently, and rightly so as well. His end products have been nowhere near good enough, and he's played games where he's just not turned up. I still think there's something there with Crysencio Somerville, and I'm not saying that just because he scored and got an assist yesterday. I do think he's one of the few players that has pace in our team, and I think if a little bit more confidence and a little bit sharpening up in terms of his end products, I think he'll be a player for us. It might actually be a decent player in the Championship, as we saw yesterday. But I thought he took his goal really well. It was sort of an awkward first and second touch, but then he finished it really well. And the assist was brilliant. The turn was fantastic. And a great cross into Tatti. So 2 key moments there for Somerville. And I think generally he played well. I wouldn't say he was amazing, but he played well. For West Ham, he was probably the man of the match. I'll come on to QPR's man of the match in a bit. But yeah, I think that's a positive. Hopefully he can take some confidence from that performance and move on to the next game against Tottenham, where I think he will be key. Launching counter-attacks, trying to cause problems for Tottenham on the break. I think he will be key in that. So yeah, they're the positives. And I am struggling other than that. Like, there's a few there, but other than the fact that we just got through and we're in the 4th round, look, I don't think any of us expect West Ham to be lifting the FA Cup in May, but it's always good to be in the hat. It's been recently, even when we've been playing okay, that we've been knocked out of the FA Cup early. We've had some really terrible draws. So I hope we get a good draw tonight. And I hope we can have a little run, because that will breed confidence. If we can go further in the competition, we start winning games again. I think that will breed confidence. Although saying that, when we last got relegated with Avram Grant, we got to the League Cup semi-final, I believe, and lost to Birmingham in extra time. And then I think we got to the quarter-final of the FA Cup and lost to Stoke at the Britannia. I might be wrong there, but I think we had some good cup runs in that. So I think that was the season we beat United 4-0 at Upton Park. So it doesn't come hand in hand, a good cup run and good league performance. But let's hope it kickstarts something in the team. But I did want to talk about the negatives and how I felt after yesterday's game, because it is important. Like, we have to look at what we saw in front of us, and a win's a win, yes, but you have to know the context and look into the detail a bit more. And for me, it was a really unconvincing and underwhelming performance from everyone, really. Like I say, some of them maybe aside, but the rest of the team, I just don't think we were great. I really don't think we were great. It was a scrappy win. And yeah, I'm not confident that it's going to be the turning of a tide for us at all, to be honest with you. Firstly, I want to talk about Nuno. Now, first of all, I think he got the lineup bang wrong. Like, it was just not the system to be playing against QPR at home in the FA Cup. I have a little bit of sympathy with he didn't have a lot of attacking players to choose from. I think Paqueta, news coming out today, that he maybe want to leave. We don't have a lot of other attacking options at the moment. The few injuries, that kind of stuff. So only Pablo could have started, and I think he should have started. I think the team that we ended up playing, after Mavropanos came off from his injury, excuse me, I think that's the team we should have started with. Maybe not in a strict 4-4-2, maybe Tati in the sort of 10 playing off of Pablo, I think would have probably been better shape. But I have no idea why he went with a back three, other than the fact that he maybe just didn't trust Pablo from the start and didn't want to. But I don't understand it. It was a bit of a free hit in some ways against QPR. It wasn't a massive crucial league game. So why not start Pablo as the number 9, have Tati floating off him, Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right, and then just a back four. They were playing a back four, playing a 4-4-2, quite a compact system. It was weird that he went with a back three, and the start of the game, it was so dull. We're just passing it along the back. Nothing there. We're just passing it to the wing backs, then back through the back line. It was really, really dull, and it was just so evident that the system was holding us back, because Potts and Magassa couldn't really find the right pockets to get into, and that was partly because of QPR shape. But it was, excuse me, it was just not working at all. So the Mavropanos was a little bit of a blessing in disguise, which is terrible things to say about an injury, but it was in the fact that it forced us to change shape. I think Golombekis was initially going through some sort of instructions, and I thought, no, surely he's got to change his system. He did, to his credit, but why he wasn't starting with that, I'm not too sure. And I just think the whole performance, really, it was kind of lacklustre again. It just didn't have that excitement that... Okay, we are really lacking with confidence as a squad. We're lacking momentum, all the things you need to put in a really positive performance. But that game was there. I almost saw it as a bit of an audition for Nuno. Can you manage in the Championship? Because you are going to have a lot of these type of games where teams come to the London Stadium. It's a big day out for them. They want to camp in, get men behind the ball, low, mid-block, whatever, and then hit us on a counter-attack. And I thought QPR looked quite dangerous at the start of the game as well. And I thought Nuno failed that audition. If that is what we've got to look forward to this next season under Nuno, then just let him go now. That is my personal opinion. I just don't... excuse me. I don't see him being the manager to get us back up. And that stadium is going to be bad enough as it is, the London Stadium next season. We know there's going to be a lot of empty seats, as there was yesterday, as there was against Nottingham Forest. It's going to be a lot of empty seats. I think if you have Nuno's style of play as well, I think there's going to be a few more. And I think the only way you can start getting bums on seats in that ground is if you have an attack-minded manager who every game at the London Stadium next season, because we will have the biggest transfer budget, we will have the biggest wage budget, we will have probably one of, if not the best squads. you should be going into that league attacking it, and every game, particularly at London Stadium, you should be going hell for leather for it, trying to press teams in, camp them in their own half, recycle possession, sustain attacks, all those things that I just don't think Nuno can do. And that's my concern. And I think, should we let Nuno, in my personal opinion, we should have let Nuno go after Wolves. Definitely against Nottingham Forest. And I think now it's just what we're sort of accepting, that we're going to go down in one way, and then it's like you've given them 50 million quid. I just don't really understand it. Again, I can talk about the owners all day and how badly this club is run, but for me that was just an easy change to say, like, let's move Nuno on, bring in a young attacking manager, let him have a go at the Premier League. If something happens, brilliant. If not, we go into the Championship, we start planning for the Championship and building a squad that's going to get us straight back up. But yeah, in terms of yesterday as well, it was just, I think it was quite worrying that we couldn't press a team that they didn't really want the ball. Like I say, they were playing 4-4-2, very compact shape. They looked dangerous at the counter at times. I think Colley up front and Dembele on the right. They looked all right, but they were an average side. Let's be brutally honest. And they didn't really want the ball. They weren't passing through the zones and cutting us open or anything like that. So why couldn't we press? Why couldn't we just get in front of them, get the centre-backs, all three of them, on the halfway line, and just camp them in and just be like, you are not getting out. Why we can't do that is because of Nuno. Nuno is not the type of manager, and I sympathise because he is who he is. It's not his nature to have a game like that and us dominate possession and just win convincingly 2 or 3-0, just sustaining attacks, playing free flowing football. That's not his nature. It's not why he was brought in. But why he was brought in was to make us harder to beat, and he's not really doing that either. So yeah, it wasn't the best. It took us to extra time. I think one thing I would say, probably another positive I should have added on, is I think we managed extra time well. We obviously got the goal, which was just a good bit of play. I don't think it was a particularly well worked moment. It was just a really good turn from Somerville. Great cross, good header from Tati. And yeah, I think other than that, we just managed extra time well. I think it was a good game management from the players on the pitch. They did a job. Extra time is so scrappy. No matter who you are, you can be the best football side in the world. Extra time can just be a real scrap. Not a lot of quality, not a lot of control over the match. But I actually think we did well. So that was one positive I would say. We got through. Let's see who we get in the fourth round. No questions. It will be something like City away or Arsenal away. But let's see. And move on to the next one. Tottenham's obviously a massive game, and we'll see what we can do. I'm not convinced we've turned a corner or anything like that. But a win is a win, and we should at least celebrate that, because I don't think we're going to have many more times like that this season. So we're through. Last thing I wanted to say as well is I thought Jimmy Dunn would have been man of the match if it wasn't for Somerville. I thought he was brilliant at centre-back for QPR and sort of showcased everything that we've been missing in the fact that he was just willing to throw his body at the ball, headed everything away. Everything we put in the box, he was heading away. Real leadership as well, obviously a captain. And I actually think if we do go down, which looks likely, he would do worse to find him. We need a centre-back. We need someone with leadership. I don't know if that was just a bit of an audition for him, then maybe that's someone we could look at. But not for now. We'll see what happens in the rest of the transfer window. Those are my thoughts on the QPR game. Let me know what you thought about it. Are you more positive about Saturday's game against Tottenham or not? And let me know where you sort of stand on the whole Nuno situation. But hopefully you liked this video. If you can drop a like, it'll be much appreciated. Like I say, new channel, early days. Would love to get some momentum early on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.